Hi, it's Amy, and today I'm going to do a review on Trojacek Farms cloth pads. I apologize if I'm not saying that right, but that's how it looks like it's pronounced to me, Trojacek Farms. These two pads here I purchased myself. I purchased them on Etsy. This is a 12-inch and this is a 13-inch. Before I start on the review, I just wanted to say that when you purchase on Etsy, you're not purchasing a completed pad. Almost all the listings there are similar to a custom order. When you pick the size pad that you want, the length and the absorbency, you get to pick this outside cotton flannel, and if you want this top to be a minky or organic bamboo velour. And then you also get to pick which backing you want. And both of mine are the same. Both of these are a WinPro backing. There's also a PUL and flannel backing, which I believe what she does is the PUL is hidden and then the flannel is actually on the back here, so you see the flannel and not the PUL. And then there's what she calls a hybrid backing, which is PUL and WinPro fleece. I have not tried one of those, but just by the sounds of it, it's almost like a bulletproof backing, almost like there's no way that you are going to leak through that backing. So if you are a very heavy bleeder and are concerned about leaking through a pad, that may be the backing for you to try. So one more thing I wanted to add before I start. When you purchase these from Etsy, because it's a custom order, she does state on there that it may take up to a few weeks for you to actually receive your order. And these two pads, from the time I purchased them to the time I received them, was 4 weeks. So it is quite a bit out there, so keep that in mind when you are making a purchase. Now on to the actual review. I will start with this one first. This is a 12-inch, and she puts this little tag here. It's a medium to heavy. And she also marks it here with these stars. So 3 stars is medium to heavy. Just as a side note, I did save the information little piece of paper that came with these pads for the purpose of showing it to you in this review, but of course I can't find it. But I do remember something on that piece of paper saying that this iron-on tag will fade or wash off after time, so that's why she adds the stars too. Mine have been through quite a bit of washing, and they seem to be just like when I first got them. So anyway, I only have a 3-star, is medium to heavy, and then 4 stars extra heavy. I know there's a 5-star and of course a 1 and a 2. Those are listed on her Etsy page. I will put the link to her Etsy page in the description box. So the pad I have, this outside is a cotton flannel. This top is a brown organic bamboo velour. The core is 1 layer of Zorb, and the back is a WinPro fleece. She has single snaps, which I actually prefer. The double snaps tend to bunch, and I don't really like that. You can see if this one's snapped up, this fleece does bunch just a little bit, but when it snapped into my underwear, I honestly didn't notice it. So this pad, as a medium to heavy, worked great. Just something I like to do is, put my pads through a real test. So I tried this on my heaviest day, and it didn't quite hold up, which is not the pad's fault, obviously, because it's a medium to heavy. Because this outside is a cotton flannel, so it is an absorbent material, I did leak off to the side, and since it absorbs, it just kept going, and it went right off the edge, right onto my underwear. So that was basically my fault, because I was just trying it on a heaviest day. But on a medium to heavy day, this works great. This is of all the moderate flow pads that I have, this one is the thickest. And Zorb is pretty thick, so it's not going to be a trim pad. There's it folded in half, and it is still floppy. I mean, one layer of Zorb is thick, but it's not going to be, you know, super hard, for lack of better words. It is kind of floppy, sorry. Now on to, oh wait, one last thing I wanted to add about this. When I bought this, it's a 12-inch pad, and honestly I did not measure it when I got it. I just assumed it was a 12-inch pad. But to double check myself before I started this review, I measured it, and it comes up exactly 11.5 inches. So I'm not sure if it came to me that way or if it shrunk. I don't know, but that is something to keep in mind if you are a person that needs 12 inches or larger, and 11.5 is going to be too small for you, or you don't like your pads to shrink. That's something that I noticed. This one is a 13-inch extra heavy. Now this one I did measure, and it still comes up as exactly 13-inch. So I don't know if this one just came as 11.5 and I didn't measure it before. This one I bought to try for overnight, simply because I was curious about this shape. As if you watch my channel, you will know that 13-inch is not really what I like to wear overnight. I like 15 to 17-inch. But this is the only pad that I found with this shape, and so I wanted to give it a go. Now, the shape worked great in the length that it is. I like how this rounded top, you know, I got a lot of coverage there. This back was great, just as is. I mean, I would prefer if it was longer, but she only makes a 13-inch pad. So just as the pad is, it worked great. I had no leaks. This core is 2 layers of Zorb. So this is actually the thickest pad that I own. And because of that, it's not one of the ones I grab for my overnights. I don't really care for a very thick pad, but it does do its job. Now I haven't measured that, but it looks like it would be a good inch thick, folded in half. It isn't very floppy because 2 layers of Zorb is a little bit stiff, and I do notice that when I put it on. I feel like it doesn't really conform to my body very well, and it doesn't feel like it's moving with me. But that's just something that I've noticed. It may be different for you. The back is Windpro fleece. This top, I guess I forgot to say, is a organic bamboo velour. I do want to mention about this Windpro fleece. Now I have a lot of pads that are backed in Windpro fleece, and so I'm not sure why just these two do it. But they pick up all the little hairs and lints and fuzz. I mean, you can especially see it on this black one. These are the only 2 of all the Windpro fleece pads that I own that do this. So I don't know if there's different types of Windpro, or just the, you know, maybe there's a front side or a back side to Windpro, and maybe she put it on back. I don't know. I honestly have no idea. It's just something I noted, and I wanted to show it to you. Also on this pad, what I wanted to add is if you're the type of person that likes the wings, like say on this one, the wings are exactly on the center, so really there is no front or back. It's exactly in the middle. These, however, are not. They're more to the front, which I prefer for a nighttime pad because you get more coverage in the back if you're a back sleeper, which I am. So you get more coverage back here. Honestly, I don't think you could wear it backwards. I suppose you could try. I don't know. I don't think it'd be too comfortable, but what she has for the front here, I found for myself to be a sufficient length for a good amount of coverage in the front. I like the curved shape of it. I just didn't care for how thick it was. Just on a side note, personal preference, I guess, is when I would put this pad on before I went to bed. That's what I would do. I'd put it on and I'd go right to bed. I wouldn't, come back downstairs or walk around the house for a few more minutes getting things done, because I felt like this pad is so thick that it could be seen through my pajamas. Now, no one has told me that they could see this pad through my pajamas. That's just personal preference. I feel like it can be seen just because it's so thick and bulky. So if you're a person that likes discreet pads, the thinner, this may not be something you want to try, but if you like thick pads, this may be something that you want to give a go. I do want to just show you her stitching down the middle. Now, on this cord, this 12-inch medium to heavy, she just has 2 stitches down it, which is fine. This one, she has 2 stitches and a centerline stitch. And I don't know the reasoning behind it, but this is what I found. That when I would bleed on this pad, the blood would pull towards these stitch lines and absorb in faster right at the stitch lines. Now, I don't, I'm not a cloth pad maker, so I don't know if that is actually the science behind this. I'm assuming that it is, this is where you absorb more where the stitches are. But anyway, this one absorbed a lot faster than this one, just simply where the stitches were, which is what I liked, because I don't like a pad where it kind of sits on top and you feel wet because it's taking its time to absorb in. So what I like about these pads is I do like the shape of both of the pads. I like that she has a ton of cotton flannel fabrics to pick from, and that you also get to pick between organic bamboo velour and a minky topped. And I like that you get 3 options for the back of your pads. What I don't like about these pads is I don't like how thick they are. That's just personal preference, but I'm just being honest. I don't like the thickness of these pads, and that is why you don't see them a lot in my what I wore this month videos, just because I don't tend to grab for these at all. I mean, I wore them for a couple months to give them a try so that I could do a review on them, but they're just both so thick that I just don't care to wear them if I have something else that I do like. So let me know in the comments below if you have tried Trojacek Farms pads. Let me know what you think about them. Any questions or comments, and I will again put the links to her Etsy shop below. Go check her out yourself, and I will talk to you later. Bye.